Good morning, everybody. It's Tracy. A little bit of Here Comes the Sun for our morning hangout. Good morning. We're trying coffee talk. We're trying some earlier morning hangout, have fun, grow, learn, expand. Today's topic is crazy good. Go ahead and say hi in the comments, because I'm wondering if the comments are coming on my phone or if they are coming into the computer. Hey, Shelly. So once I can see where the comments are coming, then I know how we need to handle the show. And while I'm sharing us out, just go ahead and let's see. Yep, comments are coming to the computer. Oh, and here, awesome. Hey, guys. So just give me a second while I share us out, because there are lots of other awesome, beautiful souls in the world that want to get in on our awesome growth and action. So I'm going to share it, and then we're going to have the best time. So grab your coffee if you haven't yet. I have my delicious, super strong black, no sugar, no cream. I weaned myself away from all that stuff, which was amazing. Good morning. Hey, Melissa. All right, enjoy the music. We're almost done sharing, and then we can hang out. Do. Just enjoy, take a stretch. If you haven't stretched yet this morning. Do. All right, we're one more spot sharing, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Do. We got to put it on my timeline, right? Because everybody's got to see it. People, we need to grow. We need to gain inner peace. Okay, here we go. So I've shared us out to all of the places we need to go, and now I'm going to turn down the amazing music. As I always turn down the music begrudgingly, don't I? I do. One day we're going to have a talk all about music and the benefits of it for your brain and your soul and all that yummy stuff. So good morning. Hello, gorgeous. How's that? You like that? I know. It's my best friend's mug. I stole it from her house one morning after we had a sleepover, and I don't think I'm going to ever give it back. So it's fine. So good morning. For all of you that are joining me for the first time, welcome. I am Tracy. I am an empowerment coach and a mindset coach, a speaker and founder of the Litt Factor. And I hang out with you to help you wake up, to help you raise your consciousness, to help you understand that you are inherently good enough no matter what. We don't take life too seriously, and we have a great time. Today's particular talk I'm excited about. Good morning from the kitchen. My husband's on our live today. Hey, hun. Today we are talking about something that plagues so many of us. It is one of my missions to help everyone become more of who they are and stop giving a shit about what everybody else is doing and what they're going to say and all the things we do that really steals our energy away, right? The taking things personally, the caring what people think, all of that stuff. Hey, Jan, good morning. All of that stuff actually keeps you from creating the life you want, because it keeps you from being your truest self. And to me, that's a fucking sad thing. Sad. Right? Because you were born, this is your life, it's nobody else's. So what I want to do is teach you and coach you and empower you today into really some how do you actually get there kind of thing, in order to stop this choice. Because any of you, hey Ryan, any of you who have hung out with me before know that my fundamental philosophy is you choose absolutely everything, right? Not just the big, strategic choices, but the choices of, how you're going to feel and what you're going to allow other people to make you feel, and the thoughts you think and the meanings you create and what you focus on and all the yummy stuff of life, right? So taking things personally and giving a shit what other people think, and literally giving your energy away. Because if you are in these kind of behaviors and attitudes, I want you to take a second and think to yourself, what else could I be doing with all of that energy and all of that time, the minutes and hours that you spend in not being in your own business and giving a shit what other people think? Right? What else would you be doing with that energy? Because here's the other thing about it, and I want to give you a visual. Imagine like a clear mason jar, right? And in this mason jar is all of your energy, right? Maybe make it a color. I love purple, some purple, right? And it's filled with purple. And every single time I take something personally, or I care what someone thinks, or I hedge on my opinion, or I wonder what's going to happen next, or I compare myself, right? All of these tendencies and behaviors, and I'm sure you have a lot of your own. Every single time that happens, your mason jar is seeping. It's like seeping out of the bottom. And before you know it, you only have about this much energy left in a day, and you only get a certain amount. You do not get an endless supply of output. So if you're wasting it and choosing to waste it after we have this talk, right? Then realize you are literally saying, you can have my energy. You can have my good vibes. You can take everything from me. It's all good. You have it, right? But no, because we're not going to settle for that, because we're looking for more in our lives. And most often than not, more means doing less, letting go, or ridding yourself of a behavior or an attitude that you're currently operating under, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through 8 points that I would love for you, and I invite you to embrace and play with, so that you can stop giving a shit and be yourself. Like, be unapologetically, hey Uncle Dave, be unapologetically who you are. Take 1 second, because this actually like makes me emotional. And I'm 9:05 and I'm emotional already. I love emotion too, for any of you who've hung out with me, right? So think about that. Awesome, Kelly, I'm so glad. Think about how amazing it would feel. You want to talk about freedom? Everyone's looking for freedom and purpose and passion and all this stuff. The answer to that is you. Be truly who you are. Pull back the layers of all the crap that you have been told, and you need to, you should, you're supposed to, all that stuff, and shine as who you are, which is defined by whatever you want and whatever feels good to you. Period, end of story. How incredible of a life would you live if you were able to tap into that? I mean, isn't that like the holy grail? Like your ability, like, you know, like when I go to Publix with no bra on and my kids are like, seriously? I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm comfortable. I prefer to be braless. If it bothers you, don't look. And I don't say it bitchy. I say it honestly, right? It's about making yourself happy. I am Jewish. I was raised that way. I have a Christmas tree in my home because I think it's pretty and I love the lights and I love the smell. It doesn't matter what rules I was told. This is my go. And I'm going to execute it the way that I want to execute it, so that I can like just, you know, be happy, which is the ultimate goal of everything that everyone is doing. The goals and intentions you set for yourself is so that you can ultimately bring yourself into a place of being happy. So stop waiting and choose to be happy now, and start making the little choices every single day that are going to enable and promote and perpetuate that happiness. Right? Okay, good. So here we go. Need another sip out of my stolen mug. Chrissy, if you're watching, thank you. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, the number 1 thing that must happen in order for you to stop giving your energy away and be yourself is we must fall in love with fear. And what? Fall in love with fear? What the hell is she talking about? Fall in love with fear. Some people say, you know, get rid of fear, ditch fear. A lot of people say be fearless. I don't believe fearlessness is a thing. I don't subscribe to that. Sorry, I'm shaking my table. I'm just trying to get comfortable in my Indian styleness. Fearless is a myth because fear will always show up, right? So I don't want to lead you down a path of becoming fearless, because that's not real. What I want to lead you down is a path of realizing that fear is an illusion, okay? Fear is an illusion. Hey, Heather. Fear is an illusion, kind of like in The Wizard of Oz, when they make it to the Emerald City, and Oz is great and powerful, and everybody's scared shitless of this guy, right? And then all of a sudden, Toto just like pulls the white drapey thing back, and the great and powerful Oz is this like 4'2" little dude with a huge ass microphone, right? And in that instance, when you see the truth, which is, this isn't scary, this is ridiculous, this was a figment of my imagination, this was something I built up in my mind, I don't need to be afraid of Oz. It shifted everything on its axis, right? So I want to invite you to see fear as that illusion, because that's all it is, right? Hey, fear is naturally what your brain throws up for you anytime you're sending signals of nervousness, unfamiliarity, discomfort, concern, right? So what I'm talking about when it comes to taking things personally and you know, giving your energy away, it's things like working through fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of judgment, fear of being excluded, right? Fear of what will people think. I took notes, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anything, right? You want to fear of not being liked, fear of what's going to happen next. Those are really the drivers of why you give a shit. Let's be honest, right? Otherwise, if you didn't have some connection to a people pleasing or a fear of what they're going to say or what they're going to think or what's going to go on behind your back, etc., you absolutely wouldn't give a shit. Right? So give me some love, some thumbs up, some hearts, something so I can see where you guys are at, okay? And also, side note, I want you to know that, thank you, I want you to know that this is a fully interactive conversation. So although I have stuff I'm giving you, I'm here live. Like I didn't make this a video and I made it live because I want to talk. So if you guys have questions or you're stumped on something, then I want you to shoot me a message and then I will respond. Okay? Cool. Oh, also, big thing. Hit share. Everybody hit share, okay? Because we need to reach more people with this, all right? And I'll tell you why at the end, because there are two unbelievably incredible things that happen once you stop giving a shit and are willing to unapologetically be yourself. And the more people that know it, awesome, Kelly, thank you. The more people that know it, the higher vibration universe we're gonna live in, and the more people are gonna walk around open doors with smiles on their faces. And quite frankly, that's where I wanna live. Okay? Okay. Cool. So with that said, so understanding that fear is, and falling in love with it. What do I mean by falling in love with it? Falling in love with it means it's going to be there anyway. And understanding and knowing that the only reason why fear shows up is because your subconscious thinks you're in danger of some sort. It really genuinely feels like it's loving you and it's saving you, right? So the difference is knowing in your intellect, this isn't danger. This is fear. This isn't I'm about to go down a dark alley and it's probably not a good idea. This isn't I shouldn't touch the hot stove, right? This is shit that's holding you back. This is just stuff in your head that you have tons of control over that you didn't realize until now, and now you do, and you're going to change because that's how these things go, right? Once you know something, you can do differently, right? And Buddha once said, it's my favorite quote in the world. Well, not my favorite, one of them. To know and to not do is to not know. Ah, so good, right? Okay. So fall in love with the fear. Use the energy of the fear to support and love you, right? And in anything. But to use that fear, wait, I see you, fear, I understand, like, thanks, but this is not a moment where I'm in danger and I might, like, get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. It's fine, right? Because of the origin of our evolution, which is a different talk. But you're ultimately just able to say, yeah, okay, I get it. So the reason why I am saying yes to that thing, even though I don't want to, is because what's going on for me? Start asking yourself, what's my motive right now? What's happening? Like, so get in touch with your truth. Stop masking all your shit. Ask yourself the question, right? Self-coach, that's what it is. What's going on? Why am I feeling this way? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking, what are they going to think of me? I'm thinking, will they judge me? Right? Start asking yourself what you're thinking. And then you'll be able to say, wait, I'm going to fall in love with that. I'm going to bring that energy with me so that I can move towards that thing. Because oftentimes one of the biggest things we do to our disadvantage is we let fear sit across from us, which means then it's against us, right? Instead, I want you to take that fear. I want you to bring it around. I want you to sit it right here. Right on your lap. Let's go. Right? And then you are using it with your power, and then you can forge forward on whatever you want to do, right? So number one, on not giving your energy away, aka not giving a shit and being unapologetically yourself, start falling in love with fear because it's not going anywhere. Fearlessness is bullshit. Fear is a thing. However, it's an illusion. And once you're able to realize that your personal power is greater than any fear you will feel, freedom! That's right. Freedom! You guys like when I sing a little? All right, cool. So let's see what we got here. Jade, I never thought of it that way. I cannot stand any criticism from especially my husband. Completely makes sense that I'm fearful of not being accepted or being criticized. Exactly, right? So then when you dig down and awesome, by the way, vulnerability, right? When you dig down and you're like, wow, okay, where does that come from, right? I mean, listen, here's the reality of it, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the reason why we have been entrained to give a shit is because of inclusion and belonging, right? Like think of grade school. You're on the playground, everyone's together. If you speak up and be yourself, a bunch of kids laugh at you, right? Because everybody's in that space where they're trying to find themselves and they're trying to connect and be included to something and belong. So then all of a sudden, little by little, and then in middle school, forget it. Like if you're your own person in middle school, you're the weird kid, right? I mean, and I have 3 daughters, 2 in middle and 1 in high school. I see this in their lives, right? And I do everything within my power to help serve them. Ultimately, they're in an abyss of this behavior, which we all went through, right? So by the time you become 25 or 30, unless you're doing work on yourself and you're really, really being raised up and encouraged, you're constantly living in a space where it's like, shit, if I show who I am, they're going to laugh at me, right? Pretty much. And the thing about it is that's bullshit, because you can do something about that. And you can realize through the steps that I'm giving you and a lot of, other work, because listen, this first session is great. It's not everything, right? That, wow, okay, it comes from that. But you know what? You know what I always loved? I loved the weird kid. I loved the kid who was like, you know what? I'm going to do me. Take it or leave it. Okay? Because here's the detriment to not being you. You're stuck. You're congested. You're living in layers of other people's shit. You're not even hanging out with the friends and the tribe that would bring you the most peace and happiness, because you're not living as your true you. So how are you supposed to attract and create the kind of life and friendships and romance and business that you want to create if you're not just being unapologetic? You want to get to your deathbed and turn back and be like, fuck, I don't. Right? So that's the truth. Okay, truth bomb. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Haley, how do you turn that switch off? I have terrible anxiety and just don't know how to flip the switch. Haley, the first thing is that I would love for you to start to learn how to breathe deeply, because anytime you have anxiety, 2 things are going on. You're focused on the future and what might happen, and you're breathing usually very shallow and erratically, and we need to interrupt that, calm and slow you down and drop you into yourself, so we can talk more about breathing, okay? And it's not that you necessarily switch it off. You do make the initial choice and decision to make this change. And then every day, you do conscious work towards it. This is about raising your consciousness. This is about learning power of choice. This is about surrounding yourself with a community of people who are also ready to rise up. Okay, super, super important, because it's challenging to make these kind of changes and not have the right support. Okay, super, super important. And I've seen traction and huge growth from my clients in some of the groups and workshops that I do when they have post support versus a one instance situation. So, okay. All right. Hey, Tiffany, I'm glad you're here. All right. So let's keep going. Thing number 2 that you need to do, or I invite you to do, say no. Say no. Say no. Boundaries with grace and love. When you come from a well-intended place, you can say anything you want. If your motive is, I'm going to serve myself, I'm going to care for myself, I'm going to honor what I really want to do because I want to live a life that's true to me and I want to show up as my true self. I don't want to walk around here as somebody you guys think I am, right? I mean, I would say raise your hands, but I can't see them. How many times you've engaged someone, you're like, that's not them at all, right? Say no. Say no when you don't want to do something. Say no when you don't want to go to that party because you really don't care to be there, right? Or when you're around those people, it doesn't feel good. Say no when someone asks you to volunteer in your kid's classroom, because you know what? That's not your jam, but you'll donate $50 to the classroom, fund, right? Let me know what's happening here with you guys. Give me something back, okay? Saying no, if you're resisting saying no, you have some sort of people-pleasing stuff you've got to move through, right? But again, and which is why fear was number one, under saying no becomes what? If I say no, they might talk shit about me. They might think badly of me. They might not include me, right? Are you seeing this? When you make a decision to live in your truth and to be unapologetically you, which means also, side note, being the happiest you, truly being the happiest you. And the examples I'm giving you, if these are things you love to do, awesome. I'm not telling you who you need to be. I can't do you. I can't do you. Even as a coach and the people I've worked with and the transformations that have occurred, I'm not becoming them. You do you the best. I want you to get in touch with what is your truth? Who do you want to be in this world? And unapologetically be it, because time's running out. Okay? Okay. So I want you to start to be able to say no, right? Another great boundary, like I'm not going to answer my phone every time it rings, right? If you find yourself crazed and you're doing tons of things because you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur and you're married and you've got all this stuff going on, and you're also feeling like, oh, I got to respond. I got to answer the call. I've got to be the person that responds to email in 2 minutes. Is that truly what you want to be doing? Like, is that making you happy? What's the motive? I guarantee you the motive is outside of you, right? You don't need to be that accessible. Just because technology gave it to us doesn't mean you need to say yes, right? Okay, let me know. Let's see. Lisa, saying no is the biggest problem for me for all the reasons you just said. Great. So we need to do deep down work there to start pulling up all of that stuff. And I'm sure that there is something that happened to you when you were younger. If you can go back to that earliest memory and figure out where did that come from, right? You'll find that moment where you felt excluded or you felt judged or you felt laughed at or someone told you. I mean, I had a client once whose family member told them, just be quiet. You are supposed to be seen and not heard. Holy shit. That was a bomb in her life until she unpacked it and went, that's not true at all, and did, some of the work you've got to do, and then move on into a whole new existence. All right? So dig a little. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? What's going on for me? All right? So say no. Say no, okay? Because when you don't say no, you are like becoming a prisoner, right? And you probably have tons of things like on your to-do lists and everything that you really could be delegating or completely letting go of, which would free you up in a way you can't imagine, right? I know that we were raised in a world to do more and go, go, go and productivity and multitasking, but we were raised wrong, like wrong. And it's okay to have nothing to do. It's okay to have downtime. It's okay to schedule an hour of, doing nothing. Okay? Lisa, that makes beautiful sense. Of course you feel that way. Allow me to love and validate you for a second. You've switched schools a lot. How many times did you have to try to belong? Right? But guys, your past is only your future if you decide to bring it with you. You're not obligated to hold on to your shit. Are you with me? This is like important. Because if you're making decisions about your life from your past, you'll perpetuate the same thing over and over and over again. And quite frankly, you deserve more than that. I can sometimes say no, but I have to say the hardest person to say no to is my mom. Totally. But it's time to set some boundaries with her too. And the barometer is this serving me? Do I feel good? Right? If it's serving you, great. If it's not, and you feel like you have this guilt thing with her, so you don't say no, and then it drives you into resentment and frustration, you have to make a change. Unless what you're going for is resentment and frustration, in which case stay exactly where you are. Right? I don't come on and do this work because I'm telling you guys you need to. I want to wake you up and love you into realizing, oh, I can do some things differently, and everything can change. Right? Okay, good. So I'm going to keep going. Number 3, this is one of my favorite things to teach, and I'm going to give it to you guys right now. Okay. Don't ever, ever, ever say the word should again, or allow yourself to be shoulded on. Don't should on me. Write it down somewhere, okay? Yes, there will be t-shirts coming out soon, for real. Okay? Don't should on me. Why is this? All right? So, should in and of itself will always keep you away from your truest self. Always. Because if you're doing something somebody told you you should, it doesn't mean that it aligns with who you are and what you want. All right? It's their agenda, what they think, what they want. Even if it's like, oh, but you should really do this. Really? Why? Why should I? They say I should. I love that one. They say, whoever the hell they is. Right? But should in itself inherently is a guilt, shame-based word. And any time, one of the additional detriments to should is, if you then don't do something you think you should, you are then driving yourself down in your esteem, and you start to feel worse and worse about yourself because now you didn't do something you should. So then you know what? You start rubbing yourself down in guilt. You're like, oh, come here, guilt. Come here. Come here. Let me feel like shit. Come on. I didn't do the thing I should. I should really go work out today. Oh, but I didn't. Now I feel bad. Guilt. All of those things, by the way, that whole cycle is all a choice. All of it. Right? So from your vantage point, don't shit on other people, your friends, your colleagues, your kids. Give them choices. Raise them up now so that they don't have to revert and undo things later, like we are. Okay? So no shooting out, and don't get shooted on. What I want you to do is I want you to shift into choose or choose not to. So when someone says you should do something, just stop and in your head go, well, do I choose to do that or would I rather not do that? Right? Honoring yourself, honoring your truth. Yeah, no, thank you for the suggestion, but I'm good. Right? Or if they say something, oh, you should really try that new gym. It's awesome. And you're like, oh, you know what? I would really actually love to do that. That's okay because you're still living in choice. You're not just doing it because of the should. The basis to all of this is what you're choosing. Okay? So, number 3, to not give a shit and actually be your true self, is don't ever say the word should again and don't be shoulded on. Okay? Okay. Tracy, hey there. I had to learn which requests I could honor and learn to vocalize the one I cannot. Liberating as scraping unwanted bites from a plate. Yep, exactly. That's the other thing. Once you start living unapologetically as yourself, it feels great. It's just like anything else you start to do. The feedback and the evidence of how awesome it is or how you feel comes back to you after you start taking the action and making the change. And that's what creates the momentum of continuing the change. It's like when you start to lose weight or you start to go to the gym, you're like, God, I feel amazing. And then all of a sudden it's not a drag to go. You're like, I'm going to the gym because you know how you're going to feel on the other end of it. Any change is like that. That serves you. Again, the key to these things is serving you and choice. All right. Number 4. Number 4 is find your voice and use it. Please, please, please have an opinion. And sure, it's fine if night 3 when you're going out to dinner and somebody says, hey, where do you want to go? I don't really care. If you don't really care, cool. But if something inside of you is going, you know what? I'd love sushi. And they're all talking about, oh, should we do Italian? Should we do Greek? I want you to go, you know what, guys? I think sushi would be great. Sound good? Okay? Stop not having an opinion. Stop thinking that your opinion becomes inconvenient or becomes pushy. If you don't, no one's going to speak up for you. You need to have your voice and voice your opinion. And again, like I said before about saying no, it's all about your intention. If you're coming from a well-intended, loving, happy place, right, where your motive is just pure, then it's all good. It's all good. All right? So we want you to find your voice and authentically say what you need to say, right? And you're always free to say whatever it is you need to say. And again, here comes that fear thing again, which is why it was number 1 and why it's something to always move through and practice, right? Well, if I voice my opinion, then right? Always pay attention. What kind of fear is the thing that's keeping you from speaking your mind or sharing your voice in the world, right? Have an opinion. You deserve to have an opinion. And the reality is that you have a ton of them. It's not that you don't have an opinion. You're just not opening your mouth. Because somewhere along the line in life, you were told, be humble, don't be too loud, nobody wants to hear you. You got, something went down when you spoke your, something happened to you when you did speak your mind, and you ended up like losing the love of your life, supposedly when you were young, or you know what I'm saying? All those things. And it trains you. The thing to understand is that you're more powerful than anything that's ever happened to you, and you can continuously choose out of the shit that's keeping you from being who you are. You are shiny and beautiful, and you have so much to give and offer this world. Stop being quiet. If you have an opinion, share your opinion. Okay? I'm going to highlight 2 really important things at the end of this call that I think is going to bring it all together. Okay? Have an opinion. That's number 4. Number 5. This is huge. Huge. Need more coffee? It's coffee talk. If I'm not drinking coffee, it's not coffee talk. Number 5 is huge. This steals more energy from more people than I can possibly articulate. Okay? For all of you incredible female entrepreneurs that I work with, this will kill you and your business if it doesn't change. Okay? Comparison. Okay? The thing that steals your energy the most, the thing that keeps you from being your authentic self, is comparison. What do I mean by that? Right? You go on Facebook, you see something, somebody's doing something in their business, and instantly you're like, oh my God, they're so much further along than me. Oh my God, looks like, oh my God, they're totally successful, right? Or you go on Facebook and you see an old friend, you're like, oh my God, she's so happy. Oh my God, look at her and her kids, or, look at him and what he's doing, it's so amazing. Or, and all of a sudden you start comparing yourself. You are literally in their business thinking what you think is true, which, side note, it never is. It never is. You never know. And the shit that's going on behind the scenes in people's lives is never broadcasted in the optics of Facebook and social media. Ever. I wish it would be. I think maybe we should start something fun where it's just like, the real shit, hashtag the real shit, and start saying what's really going on. Like last night when I wanted to duct tape my kids to the wall because I couldn't take another second. Right? And anyone who hasn't felt that way, that's a parent, you're lying. You're just lying. Because we're humans and we all have similar experiences, right? And we need to be honest with what's going on in our lives, right? So if you choose to start comparing yourself to people, he's cuter than me, she's prettier than me, she's got more success, look at all her followers, I wish I could do something like that, I wish I could do something like this, right? You are literally, this is the important thing you need to know. Number 1, you're driving down your self-esteem because you're comparing yourself against your projected image of their max success, okay, with your lowest point, because that's how the brain works. You're going, oh my God, look how this is so amazing. Ugh, I suck. Right? So inevitably, you're also driving down your belief in yourself. You're driving down your esteem. And the biggest piece of this is that you're fucking choosing to do it. You're choosing it. Okay? Everything that happens in between your ears is your choice and your option. Right? So here's what you need to do and what I want you to know. Stay in your lane. It's a mantra that I teach. Stay in your lane. As soon as you notice yourself going off to the side, right? Because how do you notice it? You start to feel like shit. You're all up in your head. You're not being productive. You're starting to become paralyzed, taking action in your business and your life, right? And you stay in your lane. You go, wait a second, stay in my lane, stay focused. Because let me explain why. The second you start comparing, right? Like picture it like this, like lanes on a road. I'm in the left lane, you're in the right lane, even though you're watching me and it's reversed, but that's cool. Left lane, right lane. My lane's in the left. I'm doing my work. I'm working on my program. I'm writing my book. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Then all of a sudden, something shiny goes on over here. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? And you start looking. Oh God. And then the thing about comparison too is that you get stuck in it. And then you start looking at more shit of more people's things. And right? Watch this. If I'm over here in their lane, AKA their business, who's in my lane? Nobody. So not only are you comparing yourself and emotionally feeling bad and having all the other kind of detrimental byproducts, right? You also are not moving your shit forward, right? Because now you're in their business. You're in their lane. So nobody's in yours. So how is anything going to go forward and do more, right? If you are over here in their business. Right? Same thing, oh, you're in school and there's another class mom and you look at her like, oh my God, she said this, she said that, la, 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 compare. You're not actually doing anything for yourself. You're hanging out in her business. It doesn't serve you. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? So in order to shift yourself, hold on one second, I was reading something. In order to shift yourself, right, out of letting your energy get stolen and keeping yourself from being yourself, get out of everybody else's business and stay in your lane. Okay? Stay in your lane. Stop comparing. That's number 5. Okay. Let me go back and read some of this. Hold on one second. I'm doing this right now, comparing my stuff with someone else's. I feel like you caught me. Good. Busted! Now, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. You will only move your life, your business, your family, yourself forward into ultimate fulfillment and success by minding your own business. Okay? Okay. All right. I think I just found my outstanding statement. When people are over everyone else's, come see me further. Okay, cool. Awesome, Trace. April, I'm not sure what, just not my quote. Don't know what you're saying, but please chime in. Okay, so just making sure nobody else has a question. Sarah, this is just what I needed to hear. Thank you. You're welcome. That's what happens when we do lives. It always just kind of hits you at the right time because there are no coincidences in this life, everybody. All right, so let's go on to number 6. Number 6 is you need to be cool with being uncomfortable. Okay, this is kind of like a big deal because when you're doing you, however it is you want to do you, until you're in a rhythm and you've been in your unapologetic self for long enough, you're shifting. You're in an unfamiliar space, right? So experiencing discomfort is 100% going to happen because you are shifting out of a behavior that you're used to. Therefore, you will now be uncomfortable as you're making the change. Okay? So it's important. Number 6 is embrace your discomfort. Be cool with being uncomfortable, right? Be cool with knowing that when you are uncomfortable, what's going to happen? Fear is going to go, hey, you're uncomfortable. You seem a little nervous. Something unfamiliar is going on. Are you about to die? Let me save you by giving you fear. But because you're all powerful, you get to say, yeah, I hear you. Come sit with me. It's all good. It's not that kind of thing. I'm not going to die. I need to just move through saying no right now, right? And feel really good about it. Are you with me? So understanding that discomfort is part of this game is really, really important, and embrace it, right? Like really realize like it's cool. If I feel uncomfortable, it's actually an indication that you're making change. If you, side note and blankets truth bomb, if you're constantly comfortable, you're not changing. You're not growing, you're not expanding, you're not pushing your edges out, you're not up leveling. I can't even tell you the amount of discomfort I feel almost every day lately as I am pushing up and out into things that I've never done before, right? So understanding that embracing your discomfort is going to be so important for you to step into who you really are and stop giving your energy away to other people, okay? All right, Kelly, yes, this is perfect. Never heard this and needed this. I'm so, so happy. This is why I wake up every day, so yay! Okay. All right, so number 7. This is a big one as well. Be your own approval and validation. You must be your own approval and validation. And these next two ones, these last two, connect right into learning what it means to actually love yourself. Right? Learning what it means to actually unconditionally accept and deeply love yourself. And when you're at that space where you're doing it actively, right? Like an action, you are loving yourself. You realize that you are your own approval and you are your own validation. And it doesn't mean you don't seek support and seek counsel and run by brainstorming and ideas. But in terms of you being you, you're not seeking the outside validation and approval of the people around you. Your happiness isn't based on the last good or bad thing that happened externally. You got the promotion, you didn't get the promotion. The client stayed on with you, the client left. That partnership worked out, that partnership didn't work out. It's not about that. You are constantly your own validation and approval. Let me tell you something else that happens when you really get this and you go, you know what? I love me, I approve of me, and I validate myself, and that's all that I need. You actually release yourself from giving a shit. You actually are able to stop all of that fear of rejection and fear of exclusion. Hey, Jennifer, and all of that stuff that perpetuates you to give a shit in the first place. As soon as you realize, my opinion of me is what matters. My validation and approval of me is what matters. And I just gave it to myself. Then you don't need to seek external validations, which is the other piece of what drives all of the giving a shit. Because you want to be included. You want to be validated. You want to be said, yeah, she's awesome. But if you keep waiting and making your validation conditional on people and instances outside of you, you will inevitably, number one, never step into your truth of who you really, really are authentically and unapologetically. And you will be an emotional roller coaster of, oh, it was good today, it was bad tomorrow, it was good today, it was bad tomorrow, blah, 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 right? And you'll be in low-level consciousness behaviors like judgment and comparison and taking things personally and all that shit, which doesn't serve you at all, right? So number 7 is be your own approval, right? Be your own approval and validation. And here's the second part of that. Come to terms with the fact that not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay, right? I do these lives. I can't tell you the amount of people who have chosen to not hang out because they don't like that I curse, right? Or they're not into my direct style, right? And I don't begrudge them. It doesn't pass through my mind in 1 second of taking personally. Love and light to you all, right? It's not about that. It's about realizing this is not a universe where you're going to get to like be friends with every single person and please every single person and everybody's going to like you and that's the way it is. So stop thinking that it is. Be okay with the fact that some people aren't going to be on board with you. And that also is a sign that you are living in your truth. And you're not, living in this space of like, oh, let me say this. Let me make sure I go to that event because they want me to go. Let me do that, blah, 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 right? And then what happens too is as you keep living this way, you're literally moving yourself further and further away from who you really are. It's a fucking shame. You deserve to just do it the way you want to do it. In every facet of your life. In whatever way feels real and true for you. And the longer that you are pleasing and taking things personally and caring what people think and comparing yourself and looking for outside validation, the longer that goes on, the further and further and further away you're walking away from who you really are. In addition to, you're then also attracting a bunch of things in your life and a bunch of people that are not your people because you're not being your real you. So those people are for whoever this person is being, but not your truth, right? Okay, here. Jennifer, I'm feeling lost in motherhood and being a wife. I need to find myself again. I don't even know what I enjoy by myself anymore. Thank you for sharing that. I really, really appreciate it. And Kelly echoes it. I agree, Jennifer, I've lost myself too, but thinking of what I would like to do again. Okay, awesome. Girls, it's never too late. It's never too late, right? It's time to do some work for you on yourself, in addition to reading books and finding support, getting coached, joining a group, right? Doing something for you so that you can identify and peel back some of these layers and figure out who's hiding under there. Okay? Everything in life changes when you start living from who you really are, even if you need to create it. And that's the other variable too. Let's not say find it. I misspoke. You're not finding anything. You're actually creating who you want to be. So try not to think backwards. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? You know, what kind of activities do make me happy? Who do I want to show up as in this world? And then start creating it. Okay? All right, cool. All right, number 8, our final piece. Okay? Straight and simple. Straight and simple. Here we go. You're enough. In order to start living in your unapologetic self, you must embrace and believe that your worthiness, your deservance, this makes me cry. I'll tell you why it makes me cry. It makes me cry because it is the thing that comes up with every single human being I have served. It hurts me that you, the world, us, are not inherently understanding that you don't have to do or be or produce or accomplish anything to be worthy of the life that you want. To be deserving. To realize your good enoughness is not up for debate. We're not having a conversation about whether or not you're enough. Because you are. You were born pure and delicious and worthy and enough. And you remain that worthy and that enough your whole life. Now, what has happened is life's happened all over you as you've grown, right? So there's shit that's on top of you and you made meaning of it and things got created and, you know, you made decisions and then there was triumphs and there was failures and there was successes and there's all these things that go on. And you make all these things mean things, and then you arrive as an adult and you have this story like, I'll never be successful and I don't really deserve that and I'm not lovable and I'm not good enough. And it's fucking total bullshit. It's total bullshit. You still are that yummy, delicious baby at the beginning of your life with the same level of good enoughness that you had the day you were born. It is your birthright. As you get to breathe, as your heart beats, as your eyes blink, you are enough because you woke up today. Period. End of this story. So sure, is there work that needs to happen so that you can get rid of all of this stuff that kind of covered you up through the years and created you into who you need to be, and you need to work on some belief stuff, and we need to get rid of some meanings, and you need to understand how to use this human technology between your ears so that you can create the life you want? 100%. It must begin with you being willing to say, I'm enough. Who I am is enough. What I do in a day is enough. If I don't get to the dishes, great, I'm still enough. If I had 4 things on my list to do and I did 2, great, I'm enough. And it doesn't mean that you're not improving and enhancing your systems and the way you approach things. It's not about apathy. It's about who you become in your life when you start from the position of, this is me. I'm enough. Take it or fucking leave it. Right? Whether I'm in public braless or I go against the grain and I do things that are out of the rules of what people told me, right? Or someone says, well, this is the way you do it, but this is how I feel to do it. Or if I don't want to volunteer when everybody else does want to volunteer, it doesn't mean anything. You need to do you and you get to do you. That is one of your greatest gifts and your greatest options of this life that you're living, right? So I want you to ask yourself this question before I wrap up. And ponder it. What would I be doing differently right now in my life if I knew I was enough? How would I be showing up today in my life if I knew that I was worthy and deserving? It's unbelievably powerful. It shifts everything. Because now you're not coming from a place of, oh my God, what are they gonna think? I'm not enough. Oh my God, what if this happens? La 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 la. Nervous, scarcity, lack. Now you're coming from a place of like, I woke up and I started as enough. Right? Now you're gonna set those boundaries. You're gonna say no. You're gonna have those conversations. You're gonna take action in your business. Right? You're gonna show up. You're gonna be happier. You're gonna be in flow. Stop thinking you need to do something to deserve the life you want. You do not. That's another way that we were raised wrong, which is I'm adamant about reversing. Okay? Okay, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tammy. Okay, so I'm just going to run through because I have a 10 o'clock with my book coach, so I've got to wrap it up because I'm expanding and pushing my edges out. And yes, this will all be an amazing book that helps change your life. Okay, so here's the recap, and then I'm going to say the two big things at the end. Number one, fall in love with the fear. Fearlessness is not true, and falling in love with your fear will enable you to stop giving a shit and be yourself. Number two, say no with love and grace. Stop doing things you don't want to do because somebody told you that you should. Which brings us to number three, don't ever say the word should again, and don't should on anybody else, right? Number four, find your voice and use it. Have an opinion. Let me just side note say something too, different talk. In terms of law of attraction, manifestation, and abundance in the universe, which is true, and for anybody who doesn't believe in it, it is now completely interwoven with neuroscience, so it's undeniable. Challenge me, call me, let's talk if you're curious about this, okay? The reality is that if you're not speaking your opinion, right, and you're not finding your voice, you're also not open to receiving more from the universe. Because you're literally saying like, no, it's okay. I don't have to say anything. It's fine. It's fine. And then the universe goes, okay, she's fine. She doesn't need anything else. All right? That's literally how it works. Number five, stay in your lane. Stop comparing yourself. If you're in somebody else's business, nobody's in your business. And you kind of need to be in your own business to move your life forward. Right? Right. Number six, be cool with being uncomfortable. Because anytime you change or grow, it's unfamiliar, which is uncomfortable. And that means that good shit is happening. Okay? Number seven, be your own approval and validation. Stop looking for outside external things to tell you how good you are. Right? Be your own approval. And number eight, you are worthy. You are enough. You deserve it. And none of that is up for debate. Okay? So I am begging you from the depths of my being to choose to step into unapologetically being yourself. Okay? Because I promise you that everything in your life will change. Now, two big things that are a huge, huge, delicious byproduct of being unapologetically you. The first one is you actually start to weed out the people in your life that don't serve you, and the situations in your life that don't serve you, and the commitments in your life that are not true to you, which is incredible, okay? You actually start to like vibe with people, right? People, there's a saying that goes around a lot, like it's like you vibe with your tribe or your vibe tribe, you know, something like that. It's true. So you start to actually attract those right people into your life because you're stepping into who you truly are, and then they're attracted to your truth. So you end up kind of pruning away the shit that's not aligned with who you really are, and you start attracting the people and the opportunities and the things that do align with who you really are, which is like unbelievable. And here is the super, super, super secret, amazing, like octopus style thing that happens when you personally start to do this work of being true to your authentic, unapologetic self. You secretly give permission to everybody else around you to do the same, right? Because in truth, we're pack animals, right? And everyone's looking, which is why you got yourself in this mess in the first place, right? Everyone's looking around, what are they doing? What's going on, right? So what happens when you start being who you are and you start saying, you know what? No, like, hey, you want to come over? No, I love you, but I really just want to lay on my couch in my pajamas and do nothing. Instead of forcing yourself to go out and then being all resentful and pissed off later because you went out and you didn't want to. Surface example, but totally true. And we've all been there, right? So as soon as you start to do you, you are giving silent permission to everybody else that comes in contact with you that it's okay to do them, that it's safe, right? That it's safe to live a life that is driven by what you want. And when you choose to do that, you get what you want. There's no resistance or friction against, why isn't that happening to me? Right? You're actually creating the life you want because shockingly, you're being it. Right? And that's what life gives us. Life gives us back how we're showing up. Right? So number one, the second biggest byproduct is you're weeding out what doesn't serve you and you're attracting what does. And the biggest thing I believe, because this is all about our connection to each other and, changing our vibrations and really being able to live life in a way where we don't regret it when we leave. You're then giving permission to everybody else. What do you mean you didn't volunteer at that thing? Really? I thought we had to. Well, she told me I should. I was afraid she was going to talk about it, right? Instead, it's like, no, I didn't. I donated to the classroom. And then all of a sudden, people are like, hell yes! Right? So think about how great the world would be if everybody was just doing them in a loving, happy way. Not doing them selfishly. Doing them in a, I feel so happy and fulfilled. And I say yes to the things I want to say yes to. And I say hell no to the things I want to say no to. And if I tell you I'm going to help you, it's because I want to. If I tell you I'd love to pick you up at midnight at the airport in Miami, I'm not doing it because I think I need to, because you're not going to love me if I don't. I'm doing it because I want to. And then when you actually do for people and contribute and become generous from a space of truly wanting to, it's exponential in what it gives you back. Okay? So, there you have it. Your 8 how-tos on how to stop giving a shit and start being yourself. Now, a few things. Share this out again. Just hit share, get this out there because the replay is going to be tremendous for people. Somewhere around this video is a link with a bunch of cool free shit for you guys. There's an ebook. That is awesome. It's a quick read. It's called 17 Invitations. You'll love it. Click that, sign up for it. If you're a female business owner and you haven't yet joined Female Entrepreneur Posse, you must do it now. This is the space we play in on lots of different levels, all pertaining to you. So the link to join the free Facebook group is on there. Finally, if you are actually ready to break through in your life, you are ready to take yourself and your business, yourself in the career, yourself in your life to the next level, there is a link to a breakthrough session with me, also around this live. Do not click the link if you are not ready to change. I have limited time, and I work with people who are ready and sick of their own shit and want to change and know that they can, right? So if you are really ready and you want to transform, you want to shift one to every area of your life, then I want you to book that breakthrough call because it will change your life. Only book the breakthrough call if you're ready. All right, so click there and you can do that. And then of course you can like the Litt Factor. You can message me through the email address on the littfactor.com, which is on there. It's all there. I just love you guys, and I wake up every day to do this and to help you shed your shit and become who you are. So I just love you, love you, love you. I'm just going to take a look and see if there's anything there, and see. The hardest people to get along with is my own family members. Yep, exactly. And I'm so glad you stumbled into this. I love this too. Okay, so let's see. I'm just reading Jade. Before I go, your last live video where you did the breathing technique, imagining the person you want to be, absolutely moved me, brought me to tears. I'm so glad. Thank you. Encourage everyone. Share it out. I really adore every one of you. And like I said in the end of just this session, you are totally good enough. So let's just cut the crap of thinking you're not, because you are. Okay? And when you start to make decisions from that place, you become yourself effortlessly because you're not willing to tolerate anything less than that. Okay? Michael, you're loving. Oh, thank you so much. I'm not single. I am married, but I appreciate the love so much. So I'm going to let you guys go so I can work on the book that's coming for you. Share this out, message me, and if there are any topics you want to go deeper on, let me know, because I create the lives based on what people are telling me they want. So message me or type it in here and I'll go back and look through the comments. Treat yourselves well and have a delicious, delicious day. Bye.